Okay, go ahead.
Hey guys, welcome to Girls Gone Viral Podcast, your weekly dose of all things pop culture, current events, and real talk. I'm Mamiana.
And I'm Bree.
Welcome.
Hey, welcome. So today we're going to be podcasters reviewing podcasters. But I'm excited about it because, I thought that their conversation was fun. We're going to be talking about the conversation between Megan Thee Stallion and Young Miami from the City Girls. Meg had an interview on Caresha's podcast.
Caresha, please.
Yes, Caresha, please.
In Saucy Santana's voice.
I like that name, first of all.
He created that for her.
But everybody says it.
He used to always say that to her on lives. He'd be like, Caresha, please.
Right.
And then
and then the internet picked it up, and that's like a perfect name for the show. So off rip, I was, excited by that. I know there has been a few of the interviews from her podcast that has gone viral. I haven't really been keeping up with them, watching them. So this one was the first episode that I've seen from beginning to end outside of just the viral clips on blogs. Mm-hmm. And, I really felt like I have a lot of thoughts about it, Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm excited to have this conversation and see how you feel about it and just explore.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Let's get into it. So you want to talk about what Tasha K said about it?
Yeah, so I just heard that for the first time today. So play it.
All right, so this is what Tasha K, as some of you may know, Tasha K is a well-known YouTube vlogger, and she's famous for reporting on all these celebrities' businesses. Sometimes she's wrong, sometimes she's right, but either way, it's entertaining, and people follow her. And and she's also known for being sued by Cardi B for making up stuff about Cardi B, and she owes Cardi B like millions of dollars.
And
now.
Is Cardi B coming for her money? Because
no, Cardi B won in court, and she has to pay that money.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so Tasha K, stop making up stuff about people because, girl. But anyway, this is what she said about Caresha, please. Y'all let us know what you think.
I've been watching her show, and I know she's excited. This is new, just like how Meghan Markle is doing it. Everybody wants a podcast. Everybody wants a television show. Everybody thinks they're Oprah. Everybody thinks they're Wendy Williams, okay? I see the trend. Until they really got to do this every day, okay? This is not something that anybody can do every day and keep that momentum, okay? And so she's leveraging her celebrity, which means I'm a celebrity, Kevin Hart's a celebrity, so why not bring my celebrity friends on that I cackle with for some views and advertising? It works. It's easy these days. It's not as easy. This was almost not impossible. This was non-existent 10, 15 years ago. You could not do this shit. You had to have credentials, okay? And so, or at least know how to talk. And that's no shade to her. That's real talk. If I hear the word like and start like, it's not cute. And I'll be damned if I sit there podcast after podcast watching you suck your teeth and say like, and you know what are you saying, Daddy? What? And then you got the audacity to say, Caresha the next Oprah? Are you kidding me?
So that's Tasha K. I don't know.
Okay, so how I feel, she is like a big mad. Tasha K is big mad. Mm-hmm. First of all, how she's like, everybody wants to have a podcast, everybody wants a da-da-da-da. It was impossible 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was impossible 10 years ago because the progression in technology.
Yeah, was, first of all, was it YouTube? Yeah,
there was YouTube, but it was just like, yes, with the projection of technology, there's going to be, a more influx of people taking advantage of it. Like, that's like saying, oh, everybody want to have a car. 100 years ago, that was, ain't nobody have a car. Duh.
Like, not everybody want one.
Not everybody want one. Oh, everybody got Wi-Fi. Because when I was growing up, ain't nobody had Wi-Fi. Like what are you even saying? It's growth, Yeah. I think that because she has been doing it for a long time and, she has gained notoriety for herself, like it having to thug it out, you know, through the trenches to get her name and her reputation. And then there are celebrities who are able to just come out, use their celebrity, leverage it, and she's probably getting one view, while a celebrity who has no credentials and no she didn't grind for it, they didn't grind for it, gets 1 million views. I can understand why she's butthurt. But that's just the way of the world. That's just what it is. Like, you know, keep grinding, keep getting it how you live. Maybe one day you'll be the celebrity. You know, like you can't be mad. Like you can't be mad at that, and then to try to throw cheap shots. Oh, at least know how to talk. Blah, blah, blah. Girl.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I'm like, she's kind of hating a little bit, like when I heard it. But that's Tasha K. She hate on everybody. She just talks shit about everybody.
Right.
That's why she's famous. Like on YouTube, she doesn't care like what she says about anyone, and she kind of models herself after Wendy Williams. Like Wendy Williams she always says like Wendy Williams is the GOAT. Like so she models her platform after Wendy Williams, and everybody knows Wendy Williams like started out on radio talking shit, just, you know, talking, basically saying everything that she knew about who was sleeping with who, and, you know, and so people hated her, you know, but she became, you know, like, it's so sensational. But yeah, Tasha, just calm down.
Yeah,
like,
relax.
Just, you know.
And just clap for somebody when they're doing something good. Like if you see somebody in your same avenue doing something similar to you, and you see that they're doing a good job, all that shows that the potential for what you see is available. Like if they can do it, it's possible for you too, because there's nothing new in the world. Do you know what I mean? So don't be mad. Be inspired. And
figure out how you can network, because she could have ended up going on the show. Like, she's one of the top YouTube blogger, like, podcasts, you know, on YouTube. She could have ended up being a guest on the show. You never know. People know who she is.
Now you burning your bridges.
Yeah, burning your bridges. It's not cute. But yeah, just chill. But I get what she's saying. You know, when people just kind of come out of nowhere, no experience, you know, and then it just kind of like seems like, you know, things get handed over to them. But you know, as they would say in the church, favor is not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't get to choose who God bless and who He don't. Like, we don't get to choose who come up and don't come up, and when they come up and how they come up. Like,
and you don't know what it is that they like. All you see is, okay, they're a celebrity and they got a podcast. You don't see the sacrifices that they made to even get to that point so that they can have that blessing. You know what I mean? Like, everything is on divine time. Everything is about favorability, deservability, and, you know, like, your time will come. Everybody just got to relax, you know?
Relax, Tasha. Worry about that money you got to pay.
The actual episode, how did you feel about it? Like, how did you feel about watching Caresha and Meg interact with one another?
It was a little cringy. A little.
It was cringe.
Yeah, it was definitely cringe. But let's get into it.
I feel like the conversation could have been better. Like, it was a good conversation overall. She was asking the right questions. Like, whoever has a list of questions for her did very well with the questions that she asked. But the sexual tension was just so high that you couldn't even, I don't know if it was authentic or if it was like, you know, for views. But the sexual tension, or the, you know, what I perceived as what they were giving off as sexual tension was just too high that I could barely focus on what they were talking about.
Yeah, it got to a point where it was like, okay, you're crossing the lines of like professionalism, and like like a couple of little comments. Okay, boom, just, you know, and just leave it at that. Like, and just make it a cute little joke here and there, you know, and then done, you know. But it kind of kept going.
Oh no, there was nothing professional about that interview. Yeah, they were just high key. Going. I mean, I feel like it was Caresha who was initiating it a lot. Like, she, like, I think that Meg probably would have been happy with just a little kiki flirting and call it a day. Nah, Caresha was pressing her. Caresha was, like, flirting hard.
Yeah.
She was spitting game. She was, like, Caresha was trying to...
take her home.
Yeah,
like,
Caresha was trying to take her home and take her down today. tonight, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so all right, let's get into it.
So we have the 9 best moments from Meg Thee Stallion's Caresha Please interview. So we're just gonna go through it and just like give our commentary about the episode, some of the highlights, and just let's just see what we think about it.
Right.
So the first thing they talked about was the Meg Thee Stallion album, and the name of her album, naming it, what is it? Traumazine?
Yeah. So when Caresha asked her why she named it that, it was like, basically she said she was going through shit and she needed a new name for her emotions. And I was like, I like that. So Traumazine, I mean, it makes you think. It definitely makes you kind of get a feel of what the vibe of the album is going to be. Maybe she's going to come a little bit more vulnerable. Maybe it's going to be less like hot girl music and more like, okay, like, wow, this is Meg. Like, this is what is on her mind. This is what's on her heart. This is what she got to say. So, I mean, I think it's, if that is what it is, I think it's great.
I preview just the songs from the album, and it definitely sounds different than her previous music.
Okay.
I was listening to some of the songs. I'm like, okay, like her flow sounds different, because people always like,
she has the same flow on
the same flow. She says she doesn't, but she definitely does.
Right.
Like, but on this album, I definitely heard like just skipping through the songs. I'm like, okay, like I would definitely buy the album. Like, wow. I would buy it. I would buy the album. It sounded pretty cool, and yeah, she was talking about more like just she was being more personal. I think on the album. But yeah, I think. Sometimes I feel bad for her because it's like, damn, it's like she doesn't have any family, like, and she's going through like all this stuff in the media, like, so she lost her mom, she lost her dad, and then she's going through the whole court situation after being shot, and we don't know who shot this girl. Like, I mean, she says that Tory Lanez shot her. We don't know.
We know that she got shot.
We know somebody shot her. And it's just really sad because you can see just when she's talking, you can see the trauma. Like, when she talks, she's super guarded. She's super, super guarded. Like, so it was very uncomfortable to watch these two talk about, like, when it came to like trauma and different things like that. It was you could see the trauma on both ends of the spectrum.
I honestly felt that in that one conversation, Caresha was a little bit more vulnerable than Megan was in that conversation, because she shared how she lost her child's father and how she attempted to try therapy, and that she just broke down. She couldn't keep herself together, so she found somebody else who she trusts, who she's able to vent to, and whenever she's going through it, she has her confidant and her cousin. And I felt like those are all very vulnerable, like that's vulnerability that she shared with Megan and that she shared with her viewers. You know, Meg never touched on the topic. She said specifically, I have not grieved. You've lost both of your parents and your grandmother, or your great grandmother, I think it was, that she said that was all super important to her as she's going through this process of stardom, and she has this, she got shot. You know what I mean? Like, you've never grieved.
And she said that she fills up her schedule.
She fills up her schedule. Exactly. So I think that, I'm pretty sure that she has had more vulnerable moments in herself, in her own space. But she just didn't feel like that was a safe space to share it. Versus Caresha, who did. Because ain't no way, like, maybe you haven't completed your grieving process. Maybe you haven't, gone through all the stages of grief. But there's no way that you have never showed the emotion of grief when you've gone through all of that. I mean, I can't say there's no way. I think all people are different, but I feel like she wasn't as vulnerable as she could have been in that moment.
I think it was easier for Caresha to share because she shared it before, like on another episode. I think it was the episode when she was sitting across from Diddy, and Diddy was talking about his
his baby mom.
The loss of his child's mom. So it was like she felt more comfortable now, like she could talk about it more publicly. I think with Meg, she doesn't know who to trust in this industry, and so she's just like, okay, I got shot by somebody in this industry. And every time I talk about it on the internet, people are saying I'm lying. So it's like she's so afraid to just put it out there. So yeah, maybe she has had some type of grieving, but maybe she still feels like she hasn't really
she's not confident sharing it. Whatever it is that she is experiencing, she's not confident to share it, at least not in that space. So and maybe it's not our business. Maybe she does share it with somebody. It's just not our business. But yeah.
She actually said, I feel like it's a softer side, a side that people don't usually get to see. I feel like we as female artists, especially black women, we're so tough all the time. I feel like in our music, we're going so hard all the time. I feel like it's been tough to us to not be so vulnerable and open and not to put too many people in our business. So yeah,
there you go. That's how she feels about it. It's tough for her to be vulnerable, and she doesn't want people to know how she's feeling. She just wants to work and have that image, that persona, and call it a day.
Yeah. All right. So next, Young Miami, would you F me?
I already mentioned that they're going. I mean, I don't know. If they haven't yet, they damn near about to. And if they are not serious about it, then they were putting on a show. I feel like Young Miami was really going in. And I feel like Young Miami is real big crushing on her. Like, she's crushing for real. Like, I'm a heterosexual woman. So for me, it's like, I can't really understand the concept. And it's not like I don't understand it. I get what it is. You know what I mean? But it's just like the way that was my first time really kind of seeing like a girl crush, like for real. The way she was crushing on her is the way, is the way I would crush on a boy. You know what I mean? Like, she was crushing for real, and she was just like giving her flowers the whole time, saying, damn, you look good. Damn, like, you're so cold. Like, you're fly. Like, she noticed this thing. She said, oh, I was like, I be looking on your page, and then like little things like that. I'm like, wow, she really has a crush on her. Like, this is the same thing I would feel like when I'm crushing on a dude. You know what I mean? She's really crushing on her. She be looking at her page. She be checking her out. She thinks she's so cool. Like, she's like, her freestyle, she says, oh, your freestyles are so cold. Like, I be looking at it and thinking like, damn, you're like, she's a cool ass bitch. Like, she likes her look. She likes her personality. She likes her style. Like, she likes her. She's crushing. Like, it's crazy to see that. Like, to me, it was just like, it was just like, I see girls flirt, whatever, and I could always compliment a beautiful woman, and but it's different to see, like, watching it, like, yo, she was literally oogling over her crush this whole interview. And that was interesting to see. I thought it was actually kind of cute. It was whatever.
Yeah. From my perspective, you could definitely see that they have some sort of relationship, whether it's just like an industry kind of friendship or whatever.
I think that's what it is for now.
But there was a point in the interview that I caught that they kind of like shied away from it a little bit. It was almost like a in between them type of conversation, and they got out of it really quick. But she mentioned a time, I think, when they were
Halloween.
Yes, and they was like, "Oh, never speak of that," or something.
Something happened between them,
and it gives me the impression that Caresha basically like came on hard, came on strong, like,
and then Meg probably
was just
rejected her.
Taken back, like, whoa, I just met you or something,
right. Maybe, and then, but they did say like. They did say, oh yeah, like, we're gonna revisit that conversation one day, whatever. I mean, who knows what really happened, but
something happened.
Something happened,
and then it was just like, you could tell, like, Meg was flirting back, but
I think she was flirting back out of like,
I don't want to make her look stupid.
Right. Like, and I could understand that, because there's been times, like, in my own personal life, like, I'm in a space where I feel like somebody's coming on to me or whatever, and I'm not necessarily interested back, but I don't want to like. It makes you feel uncomfortable to just straight reject somebody. I think that we're conditioned to feel like you have to let people down easy. You can't just say no. You know what I mean? So I think that Meg was just going through with the motion. She's like, I'm on this lady's show. I can't be on here acting like brand new. But I think Meg was just kikiing, but Caresha was dead. Caresha was crushing on her so hard. Like, it was so crazy. It's like, ogling over her freestyle, oogling over her the way she looked. And then it's just kind of like, Meg was just like, okay, ting ting. Like, you know.
And she said, you know, she asked, I think Caresha asked her, like, how does your boyfriend party, you know, feel about you being with girls or something like that. And she said straight up, he doesn't like it.
Right.
So.
But then she tried to like clean it up a little bit. But I do it anyway. But yeah.
Like, girl, if you trying to respect your man, just be like, I'm like, it's that's why I was like, this interview was so weird to me, because it was just like, when it came to the comments about party, like, I feel like she should have like stood a little bit stronger on like what she was like, being very, very like precise in what she was saying. Because if your man is saying, I don't like you to be with girls, like, don't publicly undermine him and basically like, well, I just do what I want to do anyway, type of thing. Like, don't publicly put that out there, even if you do. But that's humiliating for a man, for you to automatically put it out there and say, my man don't like this, but I'm still going to. Like, it just was, to me, it was like,
I feel you on that. I didn't get that, though, from it. Like, she made it very clear, like, they went into the relationship with open communication. And she specifically said she has never cheated and she has no desire to cheat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She did say
so
that,
I think, like, with that, it would be more, maybe he's not the utmost confidence of it. Maybe he doesn't like it because who wants their person with another person? But I don't think that it's in a space where, like, oh, if she's with a woman, he is upset about it. I think it's her personally. She doesn't have any desire to be with nobody. Like, it's not that she doesn't like women or that she does whatever. I think that she's confident in her relationship. She's secure in her relationship. She's happy in her relationship. She doesn't really have a desire to be with nobody else right now, whether it be a man or a woman, because she's good, you know?
Yeah.
But she was just flirting. I think that Meg needs to, you know, and it's not needs to, you know, everybody has growing processes. And like I said, I'm the same way. Like, I don't know how to let people down easy. But she just maybe could have just not about party, about Caresha too, been more like, girl, you so crazy, you know what I mean? We but she was leading her on.
Yeah, I would have liked her to take control of the interview a little bit better. Like, these people are trained to interview, you know, like they have PR people that train them on how to do an interview. And it just seemed like everything that they've been taught just kind of like went out. Well, I don't know how much PR training Caresha has, because it looks like almost zero. But I know Meg has media training. Like, she is signed to Rock Nation. She is, you know, as far as like her management, you know, whatever. And I know she has media training. I think that her media training went out the window, because if she was sitting across from anyone else, she wouldn't have been so like loose to say whatever, like the things that she was saying. She would have took more control, or like took it back a little bit. So I just would have liked to see her do that. You know, like, yeah, play a little bit, but all right, bring it back. Like, come back.
I think that was what that interview was made to be like. Let's get the sexual tension on 10. Let's get some views from this girl on girl flirtatious banter, and I feel like that was, you know, what you're saying you would have liked more of is what they intentionally didn't want, because they wanted that you know, that's the look they were going for, you know.
Let's talk about what Miami said. So Miami posed a juicy question. You like girls? And then Megan made it clear that she likes what she likes. But most importantly, she likes young Miami. Miami took it. See, that was another, when she said, I like you, I was like, that was so fake, the way she said it. It just seemed weird. And then she said, they said Miami took it a step further to ask if she'd have sex with her, which made them both erupt into a fit of laughter. Megan finally answered, yeah, I would. If you're wondering who'd be on top, Meg said it'll be her. So
I think that they would really. I think that Meg is not lying about it. I think that she is attracted to her. Maybe not like she's attracted to her in the sense like, okay, she's an attractive woman and she sleeps with women. So she's like, okay, I would, but I'm not trying to. I feel like that's how Meg sees it. Versus Caresha, like, I'm trying to do this right here. Like, turn these cameras off. We're about to do it right now. You know, that's how I see it. But
Meg actually said, she's like, if this had happened before we got with these niggas. So basically she was saying, like, if I wasn't in a relationship, I would have definitely, like, slept with you. I would have definitely, like, had fun and played around with you.
And she was saying that they would have been together, but it would have been a fake relationship, but a serious sexual relationship, but a fake romantic relationship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was what I got from that.
Yeah.
Okay, so next, Meg the Stallion on black women being disrespected. What did you think about that?
I feel like the segue into that conversation was so random. Like, would you fuck me? So do you think that black women are disrespected in America? We're like, oh, okay, shit, okay. All right, back to reality.
Back to being serious.
I mean, I feel like that is a conversation that has gone on a million times, and I don't feel like it's, you know, even in this conversation with what they were talking about, like it was even relevant. Mm-hmm. Not saying that the disrespect of black women in America is irrelevant, but in that conversation, it was just so random to me. Like, they were talking about their personal lives, you know, their careers, their whatever, and then random, like, you're like, black women are disrespected. I don't know if that, what the person who was writing Caresha's questions, if they had an angle and they maybe wanted Meg to go into the Tory thing. You know, maybe that was the angle, but it didn't go that way. So I feel like that part of the interview was just like, it just came and left, you know? Yeah. But Meg gave a good answer, you know, yes, black women are disrespected. We're not able to be vulnerable, blah, 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 blah. But I feel like it was just kind of like, it didn't match the rest of the interview's content. And I think the only reason why maybe it was asked is because it was supposed to lead into that angle of, you know, Tory, but you know, Meg at least has enough media training to know not to talk about that.
Yeah, and she did say something where she basically said we have to handle everything gracefully. Like when we go through something, we're not allowed to be loud. We're not allowed to be sad. We're not supposed to lash out. Like, we're supposed to take everything you're throwing at us and handle it like Michelle Obama at all times. So that I thought was like you know, I understood what she was saying with that. She was just saying, like, when she is disrespected, like basically like the masses don't want her to respond how she would feel, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like she can't actually respond how she really feels. Like, you're basically like taking swings at me and I can't swing back, because if I swing back, then I'm looked at as angry and a bitter black woman or angry black woman. And she's basically saying everyone is not Michelle Obama. Everyone is not gonna go high while you go low.
Yeah, that's like I mean, maybe because I am a black woman in America, so for me that's like duh. Yeah. Maybe there are other demographics of people who don't understand that. But yeah, black people can't, specifically black women. You know, I'm not a black man, so I don't know how, but I would assume for them as well. But for women in particular, yeah, we cannot react. Like, for example, for me, I've worked in white spaces, you know, like I have felt like, you know, situations happen at work and if I react in the same way as another person would react, then I would be labeled as like, oh, she's acting up. Like, let's slower roll. And I am the most non-combative, non-confrontational person ever, you know? So, yeah, but I feel like that's a conversation for another time. I don't feel like Meg and Caresha flirting the whole time and talking about how they would do each other, how they maintain their vaginal pubes, and then talking about black women being disrespected. Now, I'm not saying that their conversation was, you know, I love that they had that conversation. I just feel like that was not the appropriate setting for that. And even the way it segmented into it, like I said, it was literally like, would you fuck me? Ha ha, yes I would. Ha ha, who's gonna be on top? Me. Ha ha ha. So do you think that black women in America are the most disrespectful? Like, it was literally like that. Like, literally like that. And I just feel like...
And do you think it was the editing, too? Like, however they edited it?
No, I think that's how the conversation segued, because she had a list of questions, and Caresha doesn't know how to have smooth conversation. She was just like, okay, next question. So, and just read it. You know what I mean? So, which is fine, but like I said, I just feel like that was a random ass question in that interview, and it just didn't go with it. Like, I would love to see Caresha have that conversation with somebody else, you know?
Yeah.
Someone who she's not sexually attracted to, who she's not like dying to smell her drawers. Like, I wish she could have that conversation, maybe with JT, and just them two, and experience and share their experience coming up in the industry as a girl group. Something like that. But in that situation, I just felt like it was just kind of random.
Yeah, I think it kind of went to like more of a superficial place, because they started talking about like, oh, the comments online.
Right, exactly. And like I said, the person who was writing her questions, I thought that they did a really good job of writing questions for her. But I feel like when they asked that question, the only way I can see is the angle for Meg to go dive deep into the Tory situation. And when she didn't, it just made it feel random. But, you know... whatever.
All right. Well, then it talks about Meg Thee Stallion auditioning for P Valley. Do you watch P Valley?
I have never watched one episode.
Never watched P Valley.
I want to, though.
Yeah, everybody talks
about it. You know, for the person that I am, to be like a millennial, to be someone who does a podcast, to be someone who does like stand-up and DJ, like all these like kind of like media-based, broadcasting-based avenues that I'm interested in, that I explore, I really do not I don't dive deep into like TV and like as much as I should, you know? I think I'm just like, I have too much going on during the day, like, but P Valley is one of those TV shows that has been on the radar. And even I don't even know if I want to watch it. I just know that everybody else wants to watch it. So, you know, it's something that I've considered, but I've never seen the episode. I've never seen an episode.
Yeah, I heard about it when it first came out. I want to say I tried to watch one episode, never made it through it.
So did you not like it?
I don't even remember, but I just know, like, it's just certain things that just don't grab my attention, like stuff about like strip clubs and stuff like that. Like, I'm not really into stuff like that. Like,
so what is the premise of the show?
It's like about a strip club, I believe. Like
yeah, that's probably why I don't like it. Yeah, that's not. I don't have interest in that. Like, so I take it back. It's not that I don't necessarily dive deep in TV shows. I dive deep into TV shows that interest me. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I probably never watch it because it's probably way too much of that, like outside, like, you know, that the Gen Z lifestyle, and that's not what I'm interested in. But I'm gonna watch an episode just to see what the hell everybody's talking about. But if it's a strip club TV show, it's just not my. That's
from what I know, it has something to do with strip clubs and strippers and stuff like that. From what I've just seen in previews and people sliding down the pole and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, as far as the interview, she talked about, you know, auditioning for the role of a girl named Mercedes, and that she wasn't prepared for, but now she's gonna be on there playing Tina Snow, which is her rap alter ego. So I would like to see Meg as a stripper, though. Like,
yeah, no, Meg is sexy.
Yeah, like I would be here for that.
She would be perfect for that role. You know, I don't know the show and how it navigates and the, like, you know, how the style of the show goes, but Meg as a stripper, that's perfect casting. You know, that's perfect casting. So.
Yeah. So I'll be here for that. I would watch that episode, or maybe just watch some clips on YouTube. Yeah. Not sure if I would watch the whole episode, but because I'm sure she'd probably be in there for like 5 minutes. Right. Or something,
yeah. Meg as a stripper on a TV show is perfect casting. So I'm here for that.
Yep, I'm here for it. Next, they talked about Young Miami says sex with women is better than sex with men. That was another thing. They just kind of went back to having sex again.
Oh yeah, they were talking about, the whole episode was very sex focused.
And that's when Caresha came out as bisexual.
Yeah, the whole episode was very sex focused, and it wasn't only sex focused as like, there's sometimes where you're having a sexual conversation and it's just like the general conversation of sex and da da da. Like, no, their conversation was like sex between them. Like that conversation was sex focused and sex between those two individuals. Not about women with women, men with men, men with women, people with people. No, it was about Caresha and Meg. That's how the sex was talking about. I've never had sex with a woman, so I can't give my input on that. But that's not the first time I've heard that. It's not the first time that I've heard women say that sex with women is better, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Women are just more sensual and, you know, whatever, you know.
I mean, but I feel like there's so much more to sex than sensuality. Yes, sensuality and intimacy is like a very important factor in it. But attraction and, like, you know, mutual exchange
and the body parts make a difference
too. For sure
versus like a dildo or something. This is like a real.
But even if it's, I think with sex with women, it doesn't necessarily have to include penetration. Like,
no, it doesn't.
It's just, it could be oral sex or it could be hands and mouths and you know, just touching, rubbing, heavy petting, you know.
Yeah.
All of those things are, you know, all encompassing. But for me, it's like I will see a beautiful, attractive woman. I will notice, oh, wow, she's so pretty. Her body's banging. She's super sexy. She's super beautiful. But when it comes past like that, like just having just a noticeable, like just noticing a beautiful person, it never gets past attraction for me. It never gets to attraction for me. I can say, wow, that's beautiful. Just like I can see a pretty flower or a beautiful rainbow. But it's not like I want it. You know what I mean? But I'm also a straight woman. So for Caresha to say that sex is better with women than men, I mean, hey, I think everybody... I mean, I feel like sex with certain type of men is better than sex with other type of men. So I can't say that, you know, her perspective is wrong, but I can't really agree or deny.
I think from my perspective that she has some things she needs to go to therapy for. Because you honestly, there are blockages that can happen when you have sex with a man, like you know, things like previous traumas and things like that could get in the way of you being able to enjoy sex with a man, especially because they're not always as emotional as we are. Like, we tap into our emotions quicker than they do. Not to say that sex isn't emotional for men, but it's just a little bit easier for us to tap into it. And I think that just from me watching a couple of her episodes, there's something there that she needs to get help for. Like, it's something going on. Like, even, you didn't see the interview with JT. Mm-mm. Okay, so the interview with JT and Saucy Santana, it was weird. The way JT talks about Caresha is kind of like, Caresha, you get on my nerves. Caresha, you aggravating. Caresha, you, she talked about a time that Diddy flew JT out for her birthday to some island or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like a surprise. Like, she didn't know JT was going to make it. And JT was talking about how she went through hell and high water to get there. She's like, she had to take like 5 flights. Like, it was just like crazy because she was coming from the West Coast. And she was like, it was almost like crazy trying to get over there. And so she talks about how when she walked in, and it was kind of like surprise, like, and Diddy was like, look who I brought for you. And she was just like, oh, like, so there's something.
But what does that have to do with choosing to, or having, I mean.
Emotionally, she's guarded. So she doesn't express her emotion. Like, it doesn't mean that she's not happy on the inside, but she doesn't express it. So
I could see that. Like, maybe she was expecting to be on the island with Diddy, like vacation vibes. Like, oh, you gonna be out here?
No, all her friends were there. But he was trying to surprise her with JT. Uh-huh. So it was like JT was talking about how her response, like, she doesn't respond how a normal person would respond when they're happy. And Diddy was like, "What the fuck wrong with her?" You know. So they were talking about her, like, how Caresha is just as a whole, like, as a person, and how she's just kind of not vulnerable or whatever, right? And so I was relating that back to when she was talking about sex with men, And that could be the reason she doesn't enjoy it enough. Maybe she feels more vulnerable with women during sex and not as vulnerable with men. Maybe she doesn't trust men as much, you know. So it's just a lot of different things. But it was just interesting to hear that conversation. What else? They talked about on stan culture and female rap unity. I think that conversation went all out of the way.
I felt like, okay, so when that conversation first started, Caresha kept reiterating that she felt that before they really had a conversation, that there was beef between them. Mm-hmm. And Meg was like, why would you say that? Mm-hmm. I have never, I mean, granted, I'm not like, a crazy fan of either of them where I'm stalking their socials and seeing what they're doing, but... Yeah. I never heard of any beef between Meg the Stallion and Caresha online. Like, that has never been a thing.
So that's what they were talking about, the stands. Like, the fans were creating some drama.
Yeah, but what was the drama that the fans were creating?
Because Meg the Stallion had the hot girls and the hotties or whatever, and then the city girls. And so the fans were kind of, I guess, creating like, oh no, like it's the hot girls, no, it's the city girls.
But I never saw that. I never
saw it either.
That's what I'm saying.
But they probably do because we're not.
Meg didn't feel like she ever saw that either. I felt like Caresha kept trying to make it a thing, and it's like, stop trying to make fetch happen. Fetch is not going to happen. She kept trying to say, oh. What's the difference between a hot girl and a city girl? She asked that question. Meg couldn't differentiate. All she did was say all the similarities, but she couldn't spot any differences. Then another thing she said, like, I felt like we had an issue, and then she said I felt like we had an issue. Meg cleared it up that there was never no issue, and then she said it again. I felt like we had an issue. Meg was like, "What? Like, girl, like there was ever no issue," and I feel that the only issue that it probably was straight sexual tension from Caresha.
When Caresha tried to have sex with her,
or whatever it was. And then now Meg is like, or I don't know if it was even before or after that Halloween incident, but regardless of what it was, obviously Caresha has sexual tension towards Meg that she is not being 100% fully reciprocated. So I think that whatever drama Caresha created in her head was in her head. The fans didn't do it. There is no hot girl versus city girls. I think that Caresha has sexual tension. She didn't feel like it was coming back at her, so then she just turned that like, oh, we must be beefing. No, girl, not everybody want to fuck you. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's probably what, and she's probably not used to that because people probably want to fuck her. When she wants to fuck somebody, they want to fuck her back. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but I never see, like, I've seen fans between Cardi B and Cardi B and Nicki. That's an online beef that I see,
and that's what I thought the conversation was supposed to go. Like, I thought that she was segueing. She was really talking about Cardi B and Nicki Minaj beef and how, because Meg has songs with both of them, and they don't really like that. Like Nicki Minaj, like she is very like low key be hating on people. Like if she's one of those people, like, if you my friend, and you better not fuck with nobody else. She's very much like that.
Is she a Libra?
No, she's a Sagittarius.
Okay.
And she's very much like that. Cardi B is a Libra. She
might be on the cusp.
No, Cardi B is a Libra. Cardi B loves everybody. She work with anybody. And, but Nicki Minaj is very much like, nah, like, you with me, like, why you working? And so she, I thought that that's where that question was gonna go, kind of like, how do you feel about like those two having beef with each other and then having songs with them? Like, did you feel like torn in between? Like, you have to choose sides? Like, I thought they were gonna go into that.
Same thing when I said the person who wrote the questions had an angle when they wrote it, and the two things: the sexual tension between the two and Meg's media training deviated away from every single thing. Like, whenever it got into those really, really uncomfortable conversations, Meg was able to deviate away. So maybe, how you're saying like, oh, I wanted her to take control of it. Maybe in her own right, she was taking control of it without like stirring the pot. Because 2 times we have like, notice where the person who was writing Caresha's questions, when she asked about Black women being disrespected, and I feel like the angle was supposed to head towards Tory, Meg turned it around, changed it up. This same question: how do you feel about the girls in the industry? It was supposed to be that Nicki Minaj Cardi B beef. Boom, she turned it around. And Meg never even said Nicki's name in that interview because she knows Nicki is like So Meg knows what she was doing. So maybe she wasn't more in control of that conversation than we
that's a good
like
point.
to think.
But that lets you know too, like, okay, Caresha, you got homework to do and you got work to do and research to do before you meet with these people, and you need to learn how to not let these people slide through the cracks. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think that, I don't know, I've never seen another episode, but I think that Caresha was just so smitten.
She was so distracted.
She was so distracted. Yeah, I don't know how Caresha is in other interviews, but I think that, like I said, for Meg, it worked out well for her because she has more media training than Caresha. It's clear. Or even if it's not media training, just natural, effective communication skills, Meg has more than Caresha. It's clear. And then also, Caresha was so distracted and damn in love the whole time that, like, she wasn't gonna press her because she was trying to. Instead of pressing her, she was trying to impress her. You know, so
yeah, that's a good point.
So it worked out for Meg because she didn't have to answer no difficult questions.
Yeah, they was up there playing, and
they were up there playing and kikiing the whole time.
Yeah, I don't feel like I really learned anything about Meg in that interview that I didn't already know because I've seen.
Right, I've learned more about Caresha in the interview than I did about Meg, and Meg was the one that was being interviewed.
Yeah, so interesting. Okay, the next one was a game of this or that. So you talked about sex position. Mm-hmm. Doggy style or this or that.
Okay, so this or that. What were their questions?
Okay, so during the conversation, Meg and Miami played a game of this or that. Miami asked Meg a series of questions, kicking it off with whether the latter prefers acting or music. Meg said both are in the same, and they had that whole little back and forth thing.
Which is not true at all. I'm not an actor or a musician, but I can tell you that they're completely different. But go off.
While Meg stated she feels they are different. While Miami stated she feels they are different based on their own experience playing a role in a movie. Getting into the juicy questions, Miami asked if Meg prefers missionary or doggy style. Meg chose doggy style, explaining that she's usually dominant in the bedroom, so that position is the only time a man can show what he's made of. When it comes to spitting and swallowing, Meg would rather spit. Lastly, Miami asked if Meg would choose New York or Los Angeles. The hot girl coach chose neither, staying loyal to her hometown, Houston. Yeah.
Okay, so this or that. Miami, what was it? LA or New York for you?
I've never really been to LA like that.
Oh yeah,
I was there for like a night, so I haven't experienced.
I would choose New York all day over LA. I like LA. LA's cool. I know. I take that back. I don't really like LA like that. I like LA in the sense where the restaurants are good. You know, everybody's beautiful. It's sunny. But as far as like enjoying myself there, New York is a whole nother vibe. Like, New York is so fun. There's so, like, New York nightlife, New York city views, like the views, the restaurants are to die for. Like, and there's just so many different, and I also, maybe being from Miami, I'm an East Coast girl, you know what I mean? So it's like, New York culture is more similar to what I like. Like, you could find the Caribbean food that I like. And I feel like New York has the best food of every. Like, you can find the best Chinese food, the best Jamaican food, like the best, you know. LA is like just straight like Mexican food. Yeah. And like maybe bougie you'll find food. Or you'll find like good like Japanese and like Asian culture food. But like like New York is more my vibe. Like, you can't there's no Caribbean spots in LA. If there is, it's like a dime a dozen. You gotta dig deep and it's not authentic. Like, New York, The food be fire, the views are fire, and then when you want to go do bougie, you go to Manhattan and you can go be bougie. You know, you want to be down with your roots, you go to Brooklyn and you could be I could be my Haitian girl that I am. Like, and I love New York. I would never live there, but I love New York.
I'm with Meg. I'm gonna say Houston. New York is just too big for me. I don't like the transportation. I don't want to be on the train with these stank ass people. It's just, and then it's like to get in an Uber, it costs $50 just to get from A to B. It's just too much just to do what you want to do.
Even for vacation?
Like, I like New York. Like, just like a quick getaway or something. But honestly, I would go with Houston because it's just Southern. I like Southern. I like Southern men. I like Southern food. I like... Houston, it reminds me of Atlanta. Like, Atlanta's a vibe. Like, it's black people everywhere. And that's what I like about Houston. It's just like, it's very just like, it's just more me.
Right. So you're definitely more of a Houston girl than a New York girl.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never live in either. I mean, I wouldn't live in New York just because of the complications that it has as far as being a resident there. Like the cold weather, I can't do it. The transportation, I can't do it. I would have to have a car and driving everywhere. I can't do it in New York to live there. But for a couple of days in New York, it's fun. Now, if I had to move to one of those places, I would choose to move to Houston, just because for me, weather is such an important thing. Like for me, like I can't live nowhere cold. I can't live anywhere where it snows. Like for me, weather is of utmost importance when I'm determining where I could live.
Yeah.
And Houston, I can see it just more as like a family friendly, like, you know, more relatable, like place to actually live. But if we're talking about vacation, I'm going somewhere for a couple of days, nah, New York me. I want to go to New York bad right now. Who want to take me to New York? Yeah.
Next. All right. We're almost done. So, the next one is the interesting night with Meg the Stallion and Young Miami. So we kind of touched on that. Yeah, that Halloween night. And it says Megan asked Young Miami to invite her to more outings, as she said that the city girls don't bring her along. On the other hand, Meg revealed she doesn't know how the night would end. At that point, the two took a trip down memory lane and discussed an interesting Halloween night they shared together. Speaking on the night in question, Miami said, "The night ended off well. It was like one of them, bitch, you better not never repeat this night." So something happened.
I wonder what it was. We'll never know.
Something happened, but I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't anything sexual. Maybe they committed a crime together. Who knows? We'll never know.
I don't know, but they was doing something that they would not want the public to know, which scares me. I just want to know.
Caresha was sucking toes.
She was doing something.
Who knows? We'll never know. We can, you know, take a million wild guesses.
Caresha is like that party girl. Like, she's gonna turn the party up. Like, if she's drunk, she becomes another person. Like, she's one of the
people. We all?
I've never been really drunk before, so I don't know.
I was drunk the other day, damn it.
I don't know. But she's a party girl. I mean, some people don't turn up when they drunk. They turn down, like they be chill.
It depends on how I'm drunk. Like when I'm tequila, like people always say different liquors get you different drunk, and I used to be the girl like, no, like drunk is drunk. But no, now I see tequila drunk is different than wine drunk.
Yeah.
That's really all I drink, tequila or wine or champagne. But like when I'm wine drunk, I am chilling. When I'm tequila drunk, I am like this social butterfly. It's like, it's so crazy. Like, you know, when I get tequila drunk, how I am. So yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I could definitely imagine what Caresha was actually doing and what was actually happening that night. And Meg be on 10 too.
Right.
So Meg be taking she be driving the boat and whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would bet that those two were just having so much fun. Now what they were doing, I don't know, but they don't want us to know, right? And the last thing we touched on, which was like the mental health check, where they talked about, you know, mental health. They closed out the episode. Young Miami asked Megan about the state of her mental health, finding herself in a better space. Meg has her eyes on going to therapy. I'm finally starting to open up more about things. I feel like I just know how to hold it together, and I feel like you don't have to necessarily hold it together all the time. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be like, man, F this shit. I'm over it. It's okay to be like, I need help. And then kind of like what you were talking about earlier, where Young Miami went into the story about her daughter's, her son's father. Yeah. So, overall, what did you think
about the mental health check?
Just it.
I like that. I don't know if she has a mental health check segment in every episode, and she just asks the person about their mental health. I don't know if that's what she does, but I like the mental health check. I thought that was the first time that it was like, okay, they're not talking about each other's genitals, you know. I like that. I feel like I said, I feel like Meg could have been a little bit more vulnerable, but you know, she's going through her own journey. Caresha was able to be very vulnerable. That was the first time that I've seen that from her, even though I haven't really explored her much, but that was the first time just from her online persona that I saw that she has like a soft spot. And yeah, I like that. I think overall it was a good conversation. I feel like they were just blinded by sexual tension and distraction.
Yeah. It was cringe, and
yeah. Upon watching it the first time, I didn't really get into the realization of how until we had this conversation together that maybe Meg knew what she was doing in that conversation. Maybe Meg, like you're like, oh, her media training went out the window. Maybe that was exactly how they wanted it to go. Yeah. Feed into her, get the views from all of this girl on girl action, but. Stay away from the question. Oh, you know what was one thing? Sorry, just to kind of back. I still feel like, you know, navigate away from the hard questions by using the sexual, you know, whatever you guys got going on. One thing that I did like that she said when Caresha asked her how it was working with Future.
Oh,
and then she said, you know, being
a
woman in the industry, you know, just lead with straight business. And that's a conversation that I had with a friend of mine, because I'm starting to DJ. And he was like, look, you're going to be in that nightlife, that whatever. He's like, and you being a girl, lead with straight business. And there's been 2 times where I kind of like, one while approaching a man and one while approaching a woman with a business like opportunity. And with both times, I led personally, you know, like hey, how are you? Da, da, da. Okay, da, 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 da. Okay, this is what I want. And then with the guy, it was kind of like, hey, like, I see you do this. It's not really what I'm interested in, but I was hoping you'd help me with this. And then, like, you know, both kind of went awry, you know? And then so the person that I've been speaking with about it, he's like, no. Like, he's like, I've been in this industry for this many years. Listen, this is how you approach it. So when Caresha asked that to Meg about Future, because he's the notorious, you know, womanizer, and she said she led with straight business. How much for the feature? Here's your money. I actually screen recorded that clip and sent it to him because it's like, yo, you've been telling me this all along.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. But
yeah.
That's it.
As an entrepreneur myself, and being in spaces with men in the space and majority of men in the space and in meetings and having a male as a business partner, I can totally assure you that being more assertive is the way to go. You can't always come in like like that doesn't work with men. They don't take you serious. And they overlook you sometimes. Like I've been in meetings where everyone looked to my male business partner, you know, to answer the question when I was the one who's doing all the work behind the scenes about this and that and can answer the questions. And they were looking to him like, what do you think? You know? So being assertive and knowing, like finding your voice and just laying it all out, like this is what I'm here for, this is what I'm trying to do, this is my business card, this is, you know, and just being very direct and, you know, whatever, like not trying to get nothing for free, whatever it is I'll pay for it, like whatever it is, it's like it's better to go that way, and that's the way that she went. Like, cause I'm sure that people in that industry, like those men, play with those women. Like, oh, you want to feature with me? Like, okay, come hang out with me in the studio. Nah, just I'm about to send you your money. This is a service.
You send me the feature. Yeah, I don't even need to be in the studio with you.
Yeah, like this is a service. I'm about to give you your money. Like, do your part. Boom, we done. Like, we don't have to be friends. Like, that's what it is. And she never, like, he's never promoted that song. You know, he's never posted the song or anything like that. He got paid and that was it. And you know, and that's how that industry is. It's cutthroat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, give me my money. Like, give me my money.
Yeah, you know? I liked her response, and for me, that was the one thing that I could have personally related to, and used like for her, who's obviously become so big in her industry, whatever. Not saying that I want to be an artist or anything like that, but just like I felt like that was advice that I can take for myself. Like, I definitely be kikiing with these niggas, like, you know, so.
Get your money and get the hell on.
For sure. For sure.
So, so that was Caresha, Please, Meg Thee Stallion, commentary. That was pretty good. I like how Revolt laid that out for us when we didn't have to, we had to think too hard.
There you go.
So, thanks, Revolt. But, so till next time.
Bye.
Bye.